Hey, Coach. Well, I'm so happy you found us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell up above. We put out content just about every day. Also, go down below and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. If you're looking to become a better basketball coach, you're looking for a mentor, if you're looking for resources, teachhoops.com is the answer for you. Go over and check it out and have a great day.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
All right, here we go. Welcome to High School Hoops, the bonus episode. This was one Coach wanted to talk about, so we're going to throw this one in, which is awesome. Before we do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market. I know we only use about 10% of all the workouts and all the crud they have in there. Sorry, Dr. Dish, I'm just real. But they're getting better. They're getting better using all the stuff in the, yeah, we're trying to track. They all set a goal of shooting 15,000 threes before next year. Hopefully, Dr. Dish will let us reach that. That was their goal after we had lost to Beloit. So we'll see if they can keep that promise to themselves. And Dr. Dish will help that. So mention High School Hoops, and they'll give you $450 off. And also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. The #1 stop shop for basketball coaches. What I would have wanted as a 22-year-old, what I built as a 22-year-old. No, I didn't build it as a 22-year-old. I built it in 2017, 18. It's getting older. It's getting older. That's why it's going through a revamp. So if you want to join, I come. Lots of changes. Prices are going up because I found out how much a programmer costs. So I got to increase prices the end of the summer. So if you want to jump in, I do it now. I'm getting rid of all quarterly, by semi-annually, annual. I'm just going to monthly. So I got to keep it simple for the math teacher. All right. So go over and check that out, teachhoops.com. All right. So, Coach, I wrote family time. What did I mean by that topic that we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, so a couple aspects. So one, I think as a coach, you need to be, especially, if you have kids and a spouse at home, you need to be aware of when you're building your season and your schedule, also build in time to have, vacations with your family. My family, it's every Thanksgiving, we go to Wisconsin Dells, right? It's what we've done every year. I've
Oh,
been a
God
coach.
bless you. Oh,
It's
my
just what the
God.
players,
Oh,
like the players know I'm going to be leaving. We
oh,
play every Tuesday. I'm gone Wednesday. We don't practice Wednesday. I don't see the
oh.
players till Sunday night, right? I'm gone.
How,
So
how
I think,
bad how bad is the cold you get the week after that? Because
yeah,
it's like it must be really crowded. Anyway, for those of you who are listening, because
yeah.
people listen all over the world,
Hmm.
Wisconsin Dells is the #1 destination for water parks, I believe, in the world. And they're indoor water parks too, because we're in Wisconsin, so they have outdoor and they have indoor. Yes, it is. Wow, a lot of people.
So we do it a little different from the standpoint my kids are still young and we don't
Okay,
actually do the big water park. We stay at a
a
condo.
little. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
and it has a little like a little pool rec
little pool.
center
Okay, you're not in a
area, but
big,
it's
you know.
actually, yeah, not that busy in the Dells that time of year,
Okay,
unless you're at one of the major resorts. But
okay.
I think it's important to build in that time with your family, right? Like in Wisconsin, that would be for the girls' side would be 3 weeks into the season,
Yep.
right? And it's just kind of a break. And then I have time as well around Christmas. The family, we always do something, right? And then I think the key to it though is the other aspect, not just building in that time or um, for instance, my kids now are kindergarten and first grade. They're starting to be involved in youth sports. My daughter does dance, basketball, those types of things. So my players understood this year, hey, on Mondays, I'm going to leave practice 30 minutes early. It's just what I'm doing. I'm going to be with my daughter. That's,
Yep.
I'm helping with her. My son had his on Tuesday nights. Um, his was slightly different timing. I was maybe 5 minutes late to practice or that type of thing. So just I think it's important as a coach to keep those special times with your family because that's the only way you're going to be able to last. And also be honest with the team. I mean, there's times in the season like on our schedule, we have two-way games and it's coming up this year. We're, hour and a half and then another hour and a half bus ride and I'm probably gonna, adjust things where I'd have some time with my family, with practice or cut practice short 30 minutes so we can go have dinner. Because as a coach, how many times do you make it home for dinner time, right?
Right.
So just having that honesty with the players, they really respect that, is what my experience has been. And then, if they have things like that as well, be willing to allow them to do that. We have something we call 3 practice passes. So those players can use those practice passes, as they see fit. One of them, I know it's her birthday during season every year, and she misses the practice of her birthday as long as it's not a day before a game. Her family
Right.
wants to take her out for dinner. Hey, we're all people and kids here, and we want to enjoy those times. So I think, just allowing the players to have those times with their family, and you as a coach, get that in return. And the other thing, if you do have kids, do not separate them from the program.
No.
My kids come to practice whenever they want. All home games, they're there. The players, as soon as my kids, especially my daughter, as soon as she walks in the gym, the players get her, and I don't see her. They take
Right.
her pregame routine. She sits on the bench in warmups, not during the game. She goes up in the stands. But the players know my kids by name. They're at all open gyms in the summer, all that stuff.
I
So
know my kids grew up in the gym.
integrate your program, integrate your family into your program. And as a coach, I believe it'll allow you to coach longer, and the players will build those relationships and see you as more, hey, that's that guy that's just yelling at me all the time.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
A couple things so here's what I've always done. First of all, spring break, ever since
Mhm.
we've been married, spring break's been my wife's. She
Mhm.
gets to decide what we do. So I'm yours for spring break.
Mhm.
Done.
Yep.
Like we're gonna go. One of our dogs is named Sanibel. We used to go to
Mhm.
Sanibel Island all the time with the kids before the hurricane hit. So that's the first thing. Second thing is when my kids were little, my parents had a place in Florida, and every winter
Mm.
break I would take a week off and I would go down, and usually they
Mhm.
were already down there, and I would fly down. I'd spend a week, no basketball, and I'd let my assistant coaches run the practice. I'd tell the kids, they said, my kids are only this age once, and I
Mhm.
have to go spend this time with them. You will be fine. We're not playing games, blah, blah, blah. I worked the schedule around so I wouldn't
Mhm.
miss anything. And sometimes we'd play down there. There were times I'd left there and I'd drive to wherever we were playing in Florida or whatever. But I would try to work it around. And you're right. I think honesty, it's like, that is like one of the smartest things I've ever did, because I look back at those pictures now and it's like, I'm so glad I didn't put this ahead of that. Like,
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
never getting those times back, and our kids still have memories of those
Mhm.
times. So I think you're right, and I think you'll love this. So when Drew was in 7th and 8th grade, no parents would step up to coach the youth team.
Mhm.
None of the parents
Mhm.
would step up. So guess who I had to coach the varsity team, and then I also had to coach my son's team at the same time. So
Mhm.
I was honest. I said, I got to work schedules around, and I got to leave here, and sometimes we're going to go here, and blah, blah, blah. And, I would end varsity practice and I'd have Drew's practice right afterwards. And it's like all that stuff just happened because it had to happen. No one else, I was
Mhm.
not going to not let that group not have a season because no one was going to step up and coach. So I think you're right. I think it's thinking about it and being deliberate about it, I think is,
Mhm.
and it will let you coach a lot longer. You're right. I think that's one
Yeah.
of the key components. Um,
The other
anything? Go
thing,
ahead, coach.
yeah, the other thing I want to add on it is, I really think at the end of the day, if the parents, of the players and your family all understand that it's a game, it makes it much easier, right? And no one questions, hey, like, coach is not at practice for 30 minutes. Like, they understand I have a family, right?
Right.
And it just puts it in perspective.
We're also
And
high school coaches.
yep, it
If
puts
I'm
in
the coach of
perspective.
the Badgers, then my son's gonna have to figure it out because I'm getting paid $3.5
Yep.
million, and this is like, I get it. We got to put everything in perspective too a
Yep.
little bit.
I do think, when I was starting, I didn't have that same perspective.
I know, no, most of us didn't.
So I think that's why it's an important topic for people to understand. And at the end of the day, really what it comes down to, in my opinion, is you have to have the best version of yourself. to give the best version of yourself to your team, right?
Yeah, right.
And if you're without your family or you're missing them or missing out events, you're not really invested in the game, right? You're
Yeah.
not invested in the practice or the game prep. So whatever you can do together. And like I said, I mean, the players, like, you know, we'll go scout or go watch games, and my daughter goes and sits with them, right? I sit off on my own, my daughter sits by the team, like that type of thing, right?
I
So
know.
it's
I
a
think
good
my son, I
perspective.
think my son learned every dirty word from my basketball team.
Yeah, you
But
do
that's
have to be aware of that a little bit.
it's
and
but it's okay.
That's
It
hilarious.
was good. Like there was more than one time that on the ride home we go, Drew, everything that happened at practice stays at practice, kind of thing. You know?
Yeah,
Remember that.
my son's in kindergarten, and after one of our wins, it was the win conference this year. They were excited, right? And I was talking to radio, newspaper, whoever. The kids went in the locker room, and my son comes out and he's like, "Oh, you should have heard what they said in there, Dad." And my wife was standing right there, and I said, "Oh, really? What did they say?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can't repeat it, Dad. I'm not going to tell you what it was." And I was just like, "Oh, okay."
There you go. He's learned.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah. It stays in the locker room. All right. All right. Thanks, coach. Until next time. Thank
Yep.
you.
Hey, Coach, so glad you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe and like. Second all, go check teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me help you put banners and stuff in your gym and become a nationally ranked coach, win more games in less time. Teachhoops.com is a community that will allow you to do that. Go over and check it out, and go check the next video out. Bye.